Morning everyone, welcome back to Broken Up, Broken Homestead. I'm Shannon, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that affects us directly and affects a lot of people directly, and it's winter layoffs. Now, for those of you who have just started your career working, as a construction worker, a landscaper, etc., and it's your first year and, you're expecting, at your layoff time, pogey is what we call it here in Ontario. Uh, you know, it's not a big paycheck, guys. It's only like $1,700 a month, if that. So if your rent is 2,400, I hope you banked all summer. I really do hope you banked. But if you didn't, and you're getting laid off shortly, I'm here to help you with how we've done it with 3 kids and me staying home as a mom and a homesteader and my husband working. Now, my husband works generally up until Christmas, and then he gets laid off from Christmas till around the end of April, beginning of May. So what I do is I start off my summer, I plant my garden, and I literally am the most frugal person in the world when it comes to money. I will stretch a buck any way possible in order for us to be okay. Now, this is how I do it. So I will, knowing that my hydro bill will go down in May, I will put the money aside, knowing that my hydro in January could be $300, $400. So I will put, say, $100 away, $200 away in a savings account. Or at this time of year, if I was starting right now, I would put whatever the nearest 100 is. So if your bill is, say, 180, I would give them 200. And then in January, when the bill comes in, it's not, a $400 bill. Now it's a 200 and change bill that you can probably come up with at the time. I do the same with propane. I'll put money away for propane, and I try not to turn my propane on until that snow flies. The reason being is propane in my house is on a blower system, so it's a furnace, so it pulls hydro, and it's expensive. So I'll do a lot of my canning starting November, December, and January, and I put up all the stuff in my freezer. I freeze all my tomatoes, all my carrots, all that stuff gets frozen. I bring it out when it's cooler, so I don't have the extra cost. I'm already running my stove, and my stove is providing heat because I'm using the pressure canner in my home. And we'll do a video on that, on, the heat. I'll show you the heat gauge in my living room from just using the pressure canner, because I can't use it this time of year. It's 22 degrees out. Might as well use it when it's colder outside and keep my house nice and warm. And then it's double duty, right? The other thing I do is during the summer months, when I find, say, shampoo, razors, deodorant, laundry soap, in the fall as well, because things come on sale every 8 weeks, I will go out and I will buy 2 deodorants or 2 shampoos or 2 packs of razors when they're at the bottom pricing. I do not spend full price on things that I'm just going to use and throw out the containers. Now, my husband thinks it's nutty that I do this, but it works. I also line dry all my clothes up until they freeze. Now, that generally happens in end of November. I'll have frozen clothes in line. I try not to use my dryer as much as I want to use it because it's easier. I don't have to lug wet clothes outside, but I will use it up until then, and then I try to use the drying racks inside the house. I also have a connector that turns my dryer into the house so that the heat comes out, and I just find it's a little too humid, which will equal mold in my house, and I don't want mold. So we try not to do that, but if need be, I can turn that on as well. So there's some tips and hints there. What else? The other thing I do is I have a budget for my grocery bills. Now, I spend $200 a month to feed 5 people, and I include cat food, dog food, and chicken feed in that $200. I also include laundry soap and dish soap because I go to 1 or 2 stores because my area doesn't have a large amount of stores, and I rarely go over the $200 because I buy as much as I can at the bottom price at a discount store, and I will always have extra money left over. So I think it was 2 weeks ago, I went out and got $160 worth of groceries for this house, and I put the 40 away in an envelope. And if I need milk, I have money set aside. Or if the hydro bill comes in and it's astronomical, I have that extra money. And over the past few years, I've been able to save roughly, just using cash alone. 1 year it was like $3,000 before Christmas that I didn't realize was going out of my budget, my homestead budget. So that's not pocket change, and I didn't take that money out. It was just over time. So like when my husband needed gas for his truck, I would take the money out that he needs to get to work, and I would give it to him, and the change at the end of the week, I would get the change and put it away, or vice versa. Another thing I do is I will take a pound of ground beef, ground chicken, ground turkey. I will divide that pound in half and add a half cup or a cup of rolled oats to each half of the meat. Mix it all together, put it in freezer bags, and put it in my freezer. The boys don't realize that it's got filler in it. It doesn't taste any different because once you cook up the meat, the fat gets stuck in the filler, and it tastes exactly like ground beef and exactly like ground chicken or whatever you're using. And it saves me a couple bucks there on purchasing meat. Plus I get like extra length of usage on those kinds of things. We don't throw out leftovers. We reuse them. We make new meals out of them to save a couple bucks there. We rarely eat out at all. It's rare for me to get a coffee outside of my kitchen. We do not spend unnecessary money on things that, later on won't help us out. So I hope that this video helped you guys, and I hope I had enough ideas to help those who are being laid off or are afraid of a layoff, etc. Please leave me a message or a comment, like and subscribe to this channel, and I'll be back to show you how our garden went, what I took out of the put in the freezer, and the mad random things that grew in my garden, and I let them grow, and I'm gonna have these things until at least January stored. So thank you for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.